Hi everyone, I'm Tina. This is To the Inner Wild. I'm feeling a little bored and restless, and rather than diffuse my energy into self-sabotaging ways, so I'm using this kind of as therapy, and you're going to help me through this. So today we're going to do today's February 3rd, I believe, 2021. This is the timeless read. We're going to do it on a chip of black tourmaline. So we're going to do an energy read, and let's see how it goes. Okay? So, let me see, how can I get comfortable here? Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry. I should have checked on this beforehand. Wait a second. We're going to get this straight. Beta. Alright. Angel, spirit, higher selves, I invite you in. This is for the collective of those who are visiting this channel at this time. Yeah, let's see what the energy is like. Okay. This is a little bit more challenging than my previous reading, because the previous reading had different flecks of obvious characteristics, whereas this is solid black. All I'm going with is the energy based off of the texture and shape, as well as my feelings from those impressions. Okay. And I find that this is a very good way to divert our energy, our attention, whenever it feels kind of frazzled, that we should challenge ourselves to learning something new or trying something different. Yeah, I really feel like that. Okay. It's almost like, okay, when you're disciplining a child, there's different methods to doing that. You can put them in timeout immediately, but how effective is timeout when it's, let's say, frequent? You can use distraction, diversion of attention, so that the energy is fused out and channeled through something that is more constructive, rather than sitting in that energy, the Eight of Swords energy, which is kind of hard for children to interpret when they are left alone in their own energy. So, okay. Let's see here. Okay. I see a scar tissue, that will not heal over to the way it was before. I see that along this line here. It's from a huge gash, so an experience of wounding that cut pretty deep. And it's healed over, but it's visible. The scarring is visible. I see a depth in the eyes, as you can see here in the two. I'll do up close pictures, okay? Time to relax so messages can come through. You have a very good memory, almost like Akashic memory, like systematic, organized records of many things. So you may be of high intellect or highly spiritual in being able to tap into messages that are almost inaccessible to many. I see that through the impressions here. Yeah. And you keep that quiet, and you only access it as needed. Yeah, you keep that hidden from others, the depth of your knowledge. And it might be to kind of smooth over the wrinkles, almost like to make people feel more comfortable. Like when you show that you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of abundance in a certain area that's in a gifted realm, it makes others uncomfortable. Yeah, it does. I also see a dinosaur head A reptile. Oh, so maybe you've survived a lot of horrendous conditions. But it hasn't, like, you keep that stuff ingrained in your memory. I can see that through like a dinosaur head with like, you see like the brain, the impression. So it's not like your brain is small. It's an indication that those conditions are, those memories are embedded within your consciousness. And you're always turning your head to watch your back almost. Keep a scope on the landscape because of that knowledge. I mean, it's there for instinctual purposes to keep you alive, for survival, right? Okay. What else? You're multifaceted, but in a very, it's very slight. It's very subtle. There are different sides to you, but there's like very finite inflections of yourself. How do I say it? There's different sides to you, but the inflections, it's like when you're speaking, the inflection in your tone gives a different meaning. The subtleties within your actions, within your gestures, within your tonalities give a different impression, show a different side to you.
Only those who tune into that get you. This is why your circle may be small, because of others' capabilities.
So you may be very controlled in a way of watching your step, watching your words. I think this is a picked up skill. This is not like micromanaging. This is just that it's like a chiseling effect. Okay, what else here?
This random humming tells me you may try to mind your own business and keep to yourself, at least your personal thoughts, playing it safe.
I see the letter E or M. It could also be, it disappears when I turn it upside down for a W.
While this may signify initials for some, it could also mean that at times you know there's a need to be selfish and think more about yourself. You may also meditate when you need to carefully reflect on something.
Also see that within that scarring, within your pains, you use that as like a step ladder. No pain, no gain attitude. That your pains were not for nothing. Did I say that right? That whatever you've gone through has been like a step ladder approach to ascending. And I also see that you're also very friendly, very grounded. It looks like a shoe, if you can see. The way it's shaped is like a shoe. And there's like a face impression, eyes, a nose, and a mouth here. And it's like conversing, it's socializing. It's a very grounded foot energy. I get the impression this is the right foot. So you put your right foot forward always. You always try to do that. And you might get stuff stuck on to the bottom of you, and it may stick there, but it only gives you more character, because that stuff that's stuck right there is almost like the impression of a chin. So it adds character. Like, let me think about that for a moment, right? Like, what's the next best step? What's the next step forward? That's resilience. Okay, so that's one side. It's the circumference I'm seeing. An iguana. Large head with like this flared area, and it's kind of curved around here for the tail. It feels very non-threatening. They're friendly. They're just like wondrous to look at. They have those eyes that move like dart around. You know, they take in their surroundings.
In learning a little bit more about them, when queuing to mate, they nod and shake their heads. This tells me that they are protective of themselves to the point of giving mixed signals to allow for more time to contemplate and observe. It almost comes off as a defense mechanism, but their stalling is a gesture of allowing something to come into greater perspective to avoid room for error or conflict.
And they kind of blend into the environment. They're quiet when they're observing. Oh, I get that energy. Yeah, I understand that energy. When you have something to say, it comes off very natural, but it's like a big croak, like a frog. You see the face, the eyes, and then the big mouth right here? It's a resounding voice. Like if you heard frogs in the wilderness, they can be heard from very, very far away, across the lake, yeah. And by the way, if you're using this as a source of advice on what to do, if you are lacking in a certain energy that I've described, maybe that's something to be pronounced.
Considering energy is magnetic in its messaging and intent to build resonance.
There's something else here. Oh, some of you might own like a long-eared dog. Or you could take on the characteristics of a dog, which is loyal. This dog is a domesticated version because of the long ears and the impression that I see on the face. Okay, 14 minutes in. 14:28, it was on the clock.
People may constantly try to figure you out, possibly because you keep to yourself for the most part. Taking a private approach to your life, people may try to size you up, and those that do it the most are likely the shadiest. Trust me, I know. Because why would they be so intent to figuring you out unless it was a means to resource you for their own private agendas?
BlackTourmaline. It's used for protection, wards off negativity, diffuses, and pushes back the energy. It's a commonly known, highly protective stone, one of your main staples. It's amethyst, it's selenite, it's BlackTourmaline. If I had to do a top 3, those would be it. I'm constantly seeing a direction, like an arrow pointing upwards, that in grounding yourself in seeking foundation, like this is the shape of a house, like your traditional like elementary crayon drawn house. So it's always facing up. In order to build foundations, you're always going to think above the situation. There's also a chimney there. That even though the base may feel, oh no, it's not about the base.
If so, then it's a higher frequency that's needed, taking the high road, even if it means keeping silent or seemingly neutral while you observe what makes a stable foundation.
Oh, okay, there's your advice there. That this thing, this stone, when you sit it upwards, it has a rocky foundation. So it's asking you to, if you're rebuilding your foundations, to strengthen the base. So that it can support this upward growth. Yeah, pretty sure that's what that is. Water element.
Looking at this chart, the suggestion is to seek balance between water and earth, making sense of emotions and grounding them internally and externally, both public and personal, in practical aspect.
It's a triangle. The line is actually at the bottom tip. In order to be aligned, maybe you're focused more on pentacle energy. So your sign could be water or earth, recreating stable foundations, right? So it's submerging yourself out of this emotional body. Not completely. You're still in touch with it, right? Right at the tip, right? But at the same time, you're not submerged, and it's time to ground yourself. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay, 18:48 on the clock. Thank you very much for joining. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Yeah, let me know what you think, if that resonated, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye for now.